Hey guys, today we'll be talking new drugstore makeup. I have a couple of new things here that I was so excited about, and I want to share my thoughts with you guys. These are not first impressions. I've been trying these for a little while, so I definitely have some thoughts. And there are definitely some big hits here as well as a few misses. I bought most of this myself, and there's one thing, a new Colourpop blush that was sent in PR, but everything else I purchased at Ulta. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I have a new CoverGirl Blurring Skin Tint that I was really excited about. It says that it has SPF 30 mineral sunscreen, and you guys know how much I love a mineral formula, so I had to pick one up and try it. I got it in the shade 410 Fair Neutral. I actually wanted to get Fair Cool, but it was sold out. Actually, most of the shades were sold out, and I'm looking at the Ulta website right now, and every single shade is sold out except for Rich Warm. All other 13 shades are gone. So anyway, the claims on this are that it's supposed to be a weightless liquid foundation with a soft matte finish. It has broad spectrum SPF 30 mineral sunscreen, zinc oxide, and it's supposed to blur your pores and smooth your skin for all day wear. And I think even though this is the shade Fair Neutral, it does have a little bit of that pink undertone that I like, and CoverGirl is the best at that. Like when it comes to the drugstore brands, I think CoverGirl always has the biggest range of those rosy undertones instead of being more on the yellow side like a lot of other brands do. So that's one reason I tend to gravitate toward CoverGirl's complexion products. So I do think this was a pretty decent match for me, even though I didn't get the Fair Cool shade. And I'll just say this right now, if you're somebody who absolutely hates wearing sunscreen type products because you feel like they are greasy, this is not greasy in the slightest bit. In fact, it's almost too matte for me. So I think anybody who has more oily to combo skin might love this. Or again, if you're just somebody who doesn't want something that's really dewy. And I think when it comes down to it, most skin tints are a little bit more dewy. So this is like the complete opposite of this. When I put this on my face, it totally mattified the glow that I had going on from my skincare. I had used the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream right before this, and my skin was very glowy. And then I put this just on one half of my face, and you can totally see a huge difference here where the side that I put the product looks completely mattified. It absolutely blurs your skin and just gives you that really smooth, more poreless finish, almost like you applied a powder. So if that's what you're going for, if you want to minimize shine, minimize pores, this is beautiful. And it actually had pretty decent coverage. I would say it's about medium. So I built it up slightly in certain areas where I felt like I have a little bit more like dark spots on my cheeks, things like that. But for the most part, I was able to just do one layer on most of my face, and it was the perfect amount of coverage. So the only downside I would say to this is if you have really dry skin like I do, even though I moisturized well before I put this on, I did notice some of those dehydration lines on my cheeks. Just my skin wasn't looking quite as plump as I usually like it to be. So I do think this dried out my skin a little bit. Now, it doesn't have alcohol, so I just want to put that out there. I believe it just has powders in the formula that help to keep things a little more matte, but I'm wearing it again today. I mean, honestly, I don't think it looks bad, and as we're heading into the warmer weather, if it gets really humid and sticky outside, I think my skin will be fine with this. Would I wear this in the wintertime? Absolutely not. I think it might actually start to look really dry on my skin. But right now, because we're in June, my skin is more toward like the normal to dry side than full on dry. So usually this time of year, I can get away with things that are maybe a little less dewy. So all that to say, I think this definitely has a place in my collection. It might not be something that I reach for every single day, but there have certainly been times when I was on vacation, I was out somewhere, it's super hot, I'm sweating, and I have a skin tint on like this one from NYX, like the glaze, that's just too dewy and is melting off my face. And in a situation like that, I would have loved to have something like this, but would I use it every single day? I don't know. I think this is probably just something that I'll reach for when I need my makeup to last and not slide off my face on really hot days and things like that. So that's the CoverGirl Blurring Skin Tint. I also got a new concealer from L'Oreal. This is their Skin Ink Concealer. I was really excited about this too, so let me just show this to you quickly. So this is the Infallible Skin Ink 2-in-1 Foundation Concealer. It's $18.99, which is actually pretty pricey, and it claims to give up to 48 hours of wear, yet it's light as ink and it lasts until you decide to remove it. It's supposed to even your skin like a foundation, cover like a concealer, and it has this patented formula that flexes to move with your skin. It's so lightweight, it feels undetectable, and it grips so hard you don't need a primer. It's also supposed to be self-setting. So I got the shade Warm Fair Light 80. And let me just explain this right now because this is not a shade I would normally pick for myself. It's actually extremely yellow on me. But when I looked on the Ulta website, the shade range on this is completely ludicrous. I don't know what L'Oreal was thinking. There are 6 fair to light shades and not one of them has a cool undertone. The lightest 2 shades are neutral fair light, but they're super light, like too light for me. And then the next 4 fair light shades are all warm undertone. Make that make sense because so many fair skinned people I know actually have a cool pink undertone. It's sort of a hallmark of fair skin. So why they decided to make 4 of them warm and 2 of them just neutral, I have no idea. The first one that even says it has a cool undertone is Cool Medium Light, number 130, which is too dark for me. So all I could do was look at the arm swatches and try to pick the one that looked the least yellow. So I ended up with shade number 80, but honestly, none of them seemed like a really good match. So that kind of started things off on the wrong foot with this right out of the gate. However, the formula is actually beautiful. When I first put this on, I actually just tried it like on the back of my hand when I first got it. And it's probably one of the thinnest concealers I've ever felt before. It just melts into your skin. It's so thin. There's almost no blending involved, and it has this really silky finish to it. It almost feels like a primer mixed in with a concealer. It makes your skin look almost smoother where you put it. So I absolutely loved the formula and just the way that it felt and the way that it went on. There was no cakey look to it. It didn't make my under eyes look dry or anything. It actually just made everything look really great. I think the color was off, obviously, but it's a little bit more on the sheer side, so it worked out for me okay. I didn't think it made my under eyes look really yellow or jaundiced or anything like that, but I would obviously still prefer a better shade match. Now, coverage-wise, this doesn't have the most coverage. I would say it's very sheer to light. I wouldn't call it medium. You can build it slightly, but for the most part, this is supposed to be just something that's going to cover very minimal stuff, which for me is fine. That's typically what I'm looking for, but if you need a more heavy-duty concealer, I don't necessarily think you'll love this one. It just doesn't cover enough. So at the moment, I'm kind of conflicted about this. I hate the color. I think it's terrible, but at the same time, I did feel like it made my under eyes look good. I haven't tried it all over my face yet just because I think the color is so bad. So it kind of sucks that I can't use it in the way that it's intended because it is supposed to be a 2-in-1 type of thing. And I just don't want to put something all over my face that's this bad of a shade match. So that is disappointing, but I love how natural it looks. It doesn't look like I'm wearing anything under my eyes, but at the same time, it gives a little bit of brightness and cancels out darkness and all of that. So it does do its job and it looks undetectable doing it. So I love that about it. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things that I like it, but I don't necessarily love it. All right, next up, I have a new mascara from Revolution Beauty. This is called Wrap Lash. It's their Mega Extension and Volume Tubing Mascara. So you guys know I have to try every tubing mascara that comes out. I'm always looking for that perfect formula, and I'm just gonna give you a little spoiler right now. This might be it, honestly. This was a shock because I'm not a huge Revolution Beauty fan. I don't normally love all of their stuff. Once in a while they have a hit. This time I think they really got it right. So let me show you this quickly. This is supposed to be a tubing mascara with 24-hour mega length, lift, and volume. It has something called 2% Wide Lash, clinically proven for longer, fuller lashes in 4 weeks. And also the tubing technology has no flaking, smudging, or dropping, and you can effortlessly remove it with warm water. Now, I've tried so many tubing formulas. There are only a couple that I really love that stand out. One being the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions, the Hourglass one, the Tartelette XL, and when it comes to drugstore, I would say my favorite's probably the e.l.f. Lash Extender, but I've tried a lot of them that really disappointed me, and I think when it comes to tubing formulas, formulas, a lot of the time, they're too dry and they don't build up your lashes big enough. And the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions, the reason I love that is because it's a wetter formula that builds your lashes quickly. Like as you start combing it through, it's just like instant volume all of a sudden. And that's how this one was for me. So when I applied this, just the first brush stroke through my lashes, I was like, whoa, because it just instantly gave me the length and volume. And then as I kept building it, it was really easy to work with. It didn't get super clumpy. Like I know the Milani one is good, but super clumpy. This was not like that at all. My lashes weren't sticking together. I felt like it was just building this insane length and volume so easily, just like the Thrive one does. And when I got one eye done, I was completely blown away because my lashes just looked so big compared to the other side. And honestly, I'm just so impressed with this right now. It gave me the biggest lashes of any tubing mascara that I've tried to date, except maybe the Thrive. And it's pretty much like right neck and neck with that. And just to test it and make sure that it is like a true tubing formula, the other night I put this on before bed. So my face was obviously clean. I washed my face, did my skincare, but then I put this on, just this by itself, went to sleep because I wanted to see if it did smudge under my eyes or if it flaked everywhere. I woke up in the morning and my lashes looked perfect. There were no smudges, no flakes, no nothing. My lashes looked like I had just applied the mascara. So then I went in the shower to remove it. It comes off with just the warm water. You don't need cleanser. Just rub your fingers on your lashes. It all comes right off very easily. So it performs like a true tubing formula. I know some claim that they're tubing, but then they have weird little quirky things about them. This is honestly perfect. Probably my new favorite mascara right here. I've been wearing this every day. I haven't gone back to my Hourglass one since I got this, so it's really, really good. All right, let's move on to a new blush from Colourpop. So this is the one thing in this video that I didn't buy. This was sent in PR. They sent me 6 shades of their new Weightless Liquid Blush with Pearl. So they came out with the original a while back. It's a really nice formula, very thin, lightweight, similar to the Rare Beauty blushes. They're actually quite pigmented, but this is the pearly version. So I have 6 shades here, and they claim to give you unreal glowy cheeks with a creamy, perfectly pigmented formula that's better than the rest with dimensional pearl. And because they're saying pearl, this means that they're not glittery or shimmery. So they're just a little bit glowy. I'm wearing Princess Avenue today, but not anything crazy or over the top. And like I said, these are pigmented, maybe not quite as much as the Rare Beauty, but you still do have to be a little bit careful with them. I tend to put a dot on the back of my hand and then just work from that. And still, if you pick up too much, you're gonna be blending for a little while. So I just try to use these as sparingly as I can, but they have a beautiful formula that feels very weightless and it's not greasy or dewy. They sink right into your skin and they dry down all the way, which I love. And when it comes to the pearly finish, yes, it might exaggerate your pores just a little. Maybe not as much as a formula that has glitter or shimmer, but anything that's not matte is going to draw a little bit of attention to any texture that you might have going on. So that's just something to keep in mind. I don't feel like these are so glowy that it makes it super obvious, but I did want to put that out there because some people might just like the matte look. So anyway, I think these are the perfect in between. I don't normally love a glittery cheek or anything super glowy. I tend to reach for mattes more often than not, but something like this that's just a little subtle hint of a glow is actually really pretty and something that I would definitely use. So I like these a lot. Also, I got a couple of these new lip balms from NYX. These are called the Smushy Matte Lip Balms. Perfect name for them. I honestly couldn't pick a shade. I was just gonna try one. I ended up getting 3 because I thought all 3 of these looked so beautiful. So these, I would say, are the liquid version of the CoverGirl Yummy Blur lipsticks. And you know how much I love these. I'm not a matte lipstick person, but these have such a like pillowy, cushiony, just beautiful formula that doesn't dry out your lips. These are very similar. They claim to have a smushy soft texture that applies with a lip balm feel for all day comfort that feels as good as it looks. They give you cloud-like pillow soft lips with a sweet, diffused matte finish and buildable soft focus lip color. I'm actually wearing one in the video today. This is Swipe Sesh, and they all have a different scent. This one's kind of like a sweet, fruity smell. The orange one, Soft Sorbet, has kind of like, it's also fruity, but it's a little bit different. This one's like vanilla fruity. This one is more almost like mango or tropical or something. Snuggle Season is probably my favorite. This one smells like creme brulee or something absolutely delicious. It smells like dessert. And this one's more of like a pinky nude shade. But I love these because if you don't want a glossy lip, if you want that matte look, but you don't want the dryness, these don't feel dry at all. They are truly like a lip balm. They're very silky, but they just don't have any of that shine to them. It's like if you applied a lipstick and then you blotted your lips with a tissue and took the shiny layer off, and it just leaves behind a little bit of that stain and the color. That's what these are like, and they actually do stain a little bit. I've noticed as I've been wearing them now throughout the week that even after I eat and drink, I can still see the color, and they also wear away really evenly. I don't notice them looking patchy or weird, and I have been wearing them on top of lip balm too, just to make sure that my lips don't feel dry. I have the Lanolips ointment, so I usually just put a little bit of this on, just like a touch. I don't go crazy with it, and then I put these on top, but honestly, you don't have to. I've worn them with and without. I think sometimes my lips just feel extra dry, so I end up using the balm on days like that. But I don't think it's required for these unless you have super dry lips. These are not going to dry them out, but they're not going to like add moisture either. So if you're somebody who just feels like you need a little bit of something extra, just layer a lip balm underneath these and you'll be good. Personally, I love them. If I had to compare them to the CoverGirl, these might be just ever so slightly more hydrating. But these are great too. So it's hard to pick a favorite. I think the CoverGirl ones are a little bit easier to apply in that you get a really even coat in one swipe of the lipstick. Whereas with these, when you first put them on, they can look a little bit patchy. Like you kind of have to like smush them around on your lips. I don't know, maybe that's where they get the name from, but you just kind of smush them around. Like I'll just rub my lips back and forth and then it just spreads out the color and gets it all even. And once it's there, it stays. Like it doesn't separate again. So I absolutely love these. They come in such beautiful colors for summer, especially. I feel like I want to pick up a few more. I don't know if I will, but again, I think in the warm weather, I don't always reach for things that are super glossy. When it's humid outside, it's kind of the last thing I want. So I love the idea of something that's a little more matte, not sticky, and it just feels so smooth and pillowy. Absolutely love those. So anyway, guys, that's all that I have for today. I know there were some big hits, there were some misses, but that's usually the way it goes when it comes to makeup. So I'd love to hear from you guys. If you've tried any of these products, let us know what your experience was down in the comments below. I always say I'm only one person, so it's really helpful if you guys can share your results and along with it, what your skin type and preferences are. That way, anybody who's reading the comments can kind of figure out if it would work for them as well. And I just want to thank all of you so much for hanging out with me today. I truly appreciate it. If you do have some extra time, I'll put another video right here as always that you could check out next. Thanks guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I will see you in my next one. Take care guys. Bye.